On the day his first love came back, my husband tossed me a check. $1 million to get divorced. In my last life, I took it as an insult, so I ripped up the check and walked away empty-handed. In this life, I held up 5 fingers, 100 million. Not a penny less, or it'd be an insult to true love. Julian's face darkened. Evelyn, don't push your luck. I turned to Luna standing next to him and said, Sis Luna, ditch this loser, he won't even cough up 100 mil. Obviously he thinks you're not worth it. Luna shot me a dirty look and turned to Julian with resentment. Julian, always so image-conscious, shot me a glare and snapped, fine, 100 million. But the divorce happens only after the company lands the project. And you'd better not pull any stunts that could embarrass me during this time. I remember there was this project in my past life, which was super important for the company's future, and Julian was totally obsessed with it. I nodded in understanding and held up 5 fingers again. Make it another 100 million. The veins on Julian's forehead were throbbing. Evelyn, are you serious? You're asking me about shame? Luna chimed in, Evelyn, know your worth. Do you really deserve that much? What? I gasped, so you're saying the title of Mrs. Julian isn't worth 200 million? As for dignity, did Julian have any when he was getting cozy with Luna? The two of them got livid, fury burning in their eyes. Oh, don't be shy. I totally get the sparks flying between you two. Don't worry, once the money hits my account, I'll be your personal love bodyguard. Julian was furious. Evelyn, where's your pride? You'd sell your dignity for money? I was wrong about you. I thought you had some dignity, that you weren't like those gold diggers. Turns out you're exactly the same. There's a huge gap between my family background and Julian's. Everyone said I wasn't good enough for him, called me a scheming gold digger who was only after his money. To stand up for my pride and dignity, I refused to take even a penny from Julian beyond basic living expenses, and never asked for luxury items. Even though I was married to a CEO, I was still grinding away at a measly 3,000 yuan a month job. Looking back now, I was the biggest fucking idiot in the world. I'm all ears, Julian. The money better be in my account tomorrow, not a penny short. As I spoke, I pulled out a box of kidney tonics from my bag and handed it to Lin Shuang. Shuang, happy husband, happy life. I almost died laughing. Who'd want a CEO who needs kidney tonics at his age? As an orphan with no background, I only managed to marry Julian because my face resembles Luna's. I didn't realize it back then, I just thought it was true love, like a fairy tale. It wasn't until Luna came back from abroad, barged into my place, slapped me across the face, and stomped on my fingers, yelling, "You phony! How dare you stand next to Julian?" It hit me that I'd been someone else's stand-in for 3 whole years. 3 years ago, Luna refused to marry Julian and ran off abroad out of spite. Julian was so angry that he married me on the spot just to make Luna jealous. They were playing a spiteful game, but I had given my sincere love. I refused to get a divorce and did everything I could to save our marriage, even humbling myself and begging Julian to think about our 3 years together and not leave me. But instead, he tossed a check at me and said, "We were husband and wife. Don't make this harder than it has to be. With your current salary, it'd take over 30 years without eating or drinking to save up $1 million. I'm being generous here." I refused to take it and burst into tears, saying he was insulting my character and my love for him. Luna rolled her eyes and scoffed, "Stop playing innocent, we all know you're just after Julian's money." With tears in my eyes, I told Julian, "Julian, I truly love you. I'll prove it to you." I tore up the check and walked out of the house empty-handed. To make ends meet, I worked during the day and delivered takeout at night. In the end, because of a takeout order with an extra 5 yuan delivery fee, I was driving while exhausted and got hit by a large truck, getting thrown on the spot. After I died, my soul found its way to Julian's side. I wondered if Julian would feel guilty and regret when he found out how I died, and if he'd cry his heart out for me. After all, I was such a kind and pure-hearted girl, not after his money, just loving him for who he was. Unfortunately, I overthought it. My death only bought me 10 seconds of his hesitation, then he snapped his phone shut and took Luna to a dinner party. I was so angry it felt like my soul died all over again. When I opened my eyes again, I realized I'd been reborn on the very day he asked for a divorce. Fine, if you don't appreciate an innocent girl like me, then I'll show you just how money-hungry I can become. Early the next morning, I got a deposit notification. But when I saw the amount, my face fell. There were only 5 million. I called Julian and asked, "What do you mean?" Julian said, "What if you take the money and then screw me over by breaking your promise?" Evelyn, this project is crucial. I've addressed your concerns, and I hope you can see where I'm coming from too, alright? Okay, I got it. Alright, Julian, just jot me down an IOU with the repayment date clearly stated. If it's late, you'll owe interest based on the bank's loan rate. There was silence on the other end. After a while, Julian said, "Evelyn, when did we grow so far apart? You used to call me Julian." Julian, could you write me an IOU with the repayment date on it? If you miss the deadline, you'll need to pay interest based on the bank's loan rate. The breathing on the other end quickened. Finally, Julian gritted his teeth and said, "Evelyn, don't push it." Goodness, Julian isn't trying to back out of the debt, is he? I recorded our conversation yesterday, just so you know. Actually, having an affair during marriage isn't a big deal, but if people find out Julian needs to take Shanbao tablets at his age, well. Julian snapped, "Shut up. You'll get your IOU later." He slammed the phone down angrily. Ah, that hit the spot. How come I never realized in my past life that he was such a sneaky guy? Well, a man who'd settle for a substitute to marry couldn't be a good man. Trying to play the emotional card to scam me out of my money? Dream on. After waiting for 3 days, the IOU still hadn't arrived. I couldn't wait any longer and went straight to the company to find him. Unfortunately, Luna was in his office as well. 3 buttons of her white shirt were undone as she sat on the desk, arms wrapped around Julian's neck. When I pushed the door open, honestly, I was even more embarrassed. The door wasn't locked properly, so I just walked in. Alright, I'll swing by when you're finished. Take your time, Julian, no rush. I can wait. I quickly stepped back and even thoughtfully closed the door behind me. 5 minutes later, Luna stormed out with a scowl, shot me a dirty look, and hissed, "Evelyn, Julian is mine, hands off." I grabbed her and burst into tears. "Luna, you've got it all wrong. I want to leave, but Julian won't let me. I'm terrified. What if he changes his mind and refuses the divorce? Luna, please, I'm begging you, talk him into letting me take the money and go." As I sobbed and poured my heart out, I seized the chance to wipe my snot on her fancy fur coat. Luna's face turned red with anger. "You, just get away from me." Fine, I'll leave anyway. I must have disgusted her. I figured it out. Instead of getting back at her by fighting, it's better to mess with her and drive her crazy. Julian looked really grim in the office, with a bruise under his eye. I couldn't help reminding Julian, "Hey, don't forget to take your Shanbao tablets on time." Julian's face darkened, his eyes flashing with anger. "What are you doing here at the company?" "I'm here to pick up the written agreement." "Evelyn, don't push me too far. You think I'd just run away?" "I mean it, Julian," I said with a serious tone. "I wasn't worried before, but seeing you like this. Well, a man's got only so much energy in life, you ought to show some restraint." Julian slammed the table in anger. "Get out of here." I pointed at the ground and said, "Roll like a ball?" "All right." I clutched my head, rolled to the door, then rolled back with a grin. "Julian, happy now? If you are, write that IOU, will ya? If you're still not happy, I can go roll around outside a few more times. No pain, no gain." When I walked out of the company building, holding the IOU in my hand, I felt all the hardships were worth it. Acting crazy is such a brilliant method. Half a month later, it was the group's 10th anniversary celebration, and Julian asked me to come along with him to the event. I was happy to agree. Sure. But Julian should cover the cost of the clothes, shoes, jewelry for the dinner party, plus the facial and foot care. Those all count as regular work expenses. In my past life, I was terrified of being labeled a gold digger, so I never bothered to dress up properly. Whenever I went to events with him, I just hoped not to mess up and never tried to stand out. It's different now, but anyway, we're getting divorced soon. Since someone's footing the bill, I might as well get what I need and enjoy myself while I can. It's no fun enjoying it alone, so I called my best friend Olivia. Olivia is the one I regret the most from my past life. Olivia is also an orphan. We grew up together in the orphanage and are each other's closest family in this world. When Olivia found out I was getting a divorce, she went all out to help me, even hiring a private investigator to gather evidence of Julian's cheating during our marriage, so I could protect my rights as much as possible. But I turned around and handed those pieces of evidence to Julian. Just to prove to Julian that I loved him, even if I had the evidence, I couldn't bring myself to ruin him. Deep down, I hoped Julian would be shocked, touched, have a change of heart, and beg me to take him back, putting on a heart-wrenching show of chasing after me. Well, he did chase me, but it was more like trying to drive me out of the house with a stick. Because of this, Julian hated Olivia and she lost her job. Olivia called me out for being a love-obsessed fool and said I deserved to be dumped by Julian. I was so mad that I yelled at her, "What's wrong with truly loving someone?" We ended on bad terms and didn't speak again until I passed away. But when I had a car accident, Olivia was the first one to show up to take care of everything, collecting my body, cremating me, and burying me. That day, I stood right next to her, listening to her cry and call me a lovesick fool as she burned paper money. At the end of her scolding, she broke into uncontrollable sobs and choked out, "Evelyn, come back. I won't scold you anymore." Later, Olivia got her revenge by exposing Julian's affair with Luna online. She called out Luna, who was trying to break into showbiz, for being a homewrecker, and even blew the whistle on Julian's company for tax evasion under her real name, causing their stock to take a nosedive. Julian despised Olivia so much that he paid someone to kidnap her and take her to a remote place to violate her innocence. Olivia, with no one to turn to for help, was in great pain. She crashed into Julian and Luna while driving, then turned herself in and went to prison. "Olivia, I'm so sorry for hurting you. Don't worry, I won't let you down this time for sure." When Olivia found out I was planning to use Julian's money to go shopping with her, she got so freaked out that she wanted to take me to see a psychic to check if I was possessed. It cost me 2 months' salary to buy Olivia a gold bracelet worth several thousand yuan for her birthday. Holding the supplementary card in my hand, I sighed. I was young and foolish before, but now I see things clearly. Olivia hugged me, tears of joy streaming down her face. "Now I've got a wealthy best friend." "Spend it. That bastard treated you like a backup. My Evelyn's youth is worth far more than the petty cash in his pocket." That afternoon, money meant nothing to us. We splurged on whatever made us look and feel great. It was amazing. But to my surprise, we ran into Luna. Seeing me and Olivia loaded with shopping bags, Luna sneered, "Figures. You were after Julian's money all along, you gold digger. Not only are you money hungry, but you're also playing charity with the poor. Evelyn, Julian works hard for his money. Did he really agree to let you spend it on someone else? What, do you really think Julian is just a cash cow, some kind of fool? Go on, give me back my stuff." Olivia shot back, "Oh, so the wife doesn't even get a say? Then who does? You, the side chick? Let's see what you've got there." As Olivia reached for the bag in Luna's hand, a black card fell out with Julian's signature on the back. "Well, a diamond watch worth over 1,000,000 yuan. Evelyn, call the police now, this was bought with our marital money." Luna was furious and shoved Olivia away. "Who's the mistress here? The one who isn't loved is the mistress. Julian has already broken up with her. What right does she have to spend his money?" Olivia was about to argue with her. I grabbed Olivia, slapped myself right in the face, and fell to my knees, crying. "Luna, I was wrong. How could I, as a wife, spend my husband's money? That money should be for you to spend. I'm so guilty, I don't deserve to live. I'll go kill myself right now. With my shouting, I immediately caught the attention of everyone nearby. Olivia is truly my best friend, even though she was stunned, her acting never faltered. There's no justice, the wife gets scolded by the mistress for using her husband's money. Is this a moral downfall or a warping of human nature? The crowd quickly gathered to watch, and some even pulled out their phones to film. I almost died laughing. Julian only cared about his own reputation, not Luna's. Anyway, we're in sportswear with no makeup now, but once we get all dolled up tomorrow, no one will recognize us. Luna stands out with her stylish outfit, you can spot her in a crowd. Sure enough, when Luna saw this, she was so scared that she immediately grabbed the card and ran off, not even noticing she'd dropped several handbags. I quickly ran to pick them up, they were brand new and genuine, and could be sold easily. I turned around and saw Olivia still staring at me blankly. Oh no. Did my crazy stunt freak Olivia out? Oh, I won't go crazy like that again. Olivia snapped out of it, shaking her head frantically, her eyes lighting up. No, 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 Evelyn. I absolutely adore your wild side. As expected, Julian called me that evening to chew me out for making a scene at the mall. I snapped a selfie lying in the hospital bed and texted it to him, saying weakly and pitifully, Julian, my conscience is clear. In our 3 years of marriage, have I ever asked you for any luxury items? Have I ever bought anything from Chanel? Today, Luna came up and called me a gold digger, saying I was only after your money. I can't take it anymore, I just can't. God knows I love you for who you are. I was so scared I might not get out of the hospital anytime soon. Julian sounded a bit annoyed. What about the anniversary celebration then? I coughed a few times and managed to say, Julian wouldn't make me go to the event while I'm sick, would he? What if I'm out of it and say something wrong? Why not send Luna instead? She's prettier and more understanding than me. Don't worry about what others think, true love always wins. After saying that, I was ready to hang up. Add another 5 million, Julian said through clenched teeth. Come with me to the anniversary party, and we'll divorce right after the project wraps up. I immediately perked up, so the 5 million will be wired right away? You've got my account details, right? Make sure to label it as a gift. Evelyn, you're heartless. A few minutes later, 5 million yuan was credited to my bank account. I posted on my WeChat moments, even being sick won't stop me from working. In the blink of an eye, we were already at the anniversary celebration. As I slowly descended the stairs in a high-end custom-made dress, I caught Julian's eyes freezing for a moment. Sure enough, men tend to think with their lower bodies. Now I've moved out of his villa and into Olivia's place. It's been over half a month since we last saw each other. Back in the day, I was always too busy making this kind of soup for him to take proper care of myself. When I really dress up, as Olivia pointed out, my curvy figure looks way better than Luna's flat one. Arm in arm with Julian, we stepped onto the stage. I smiled while listening to him speak, catching his affectionate gaze as I played the role of his doting wife. For a moment, I remembered the happy times when we first started dating. Back then, he'd make me porridge when I had gastritis, spend entire afternoons crafting with me on my birthdays, and even blush while saying I love you at New Year's. My relationship with him wasn't about money at all. That's why I was so sure he genuinely cared for me, not just playing around like some spoiled rich kid. Unfortunately, all those beautiful memories were like the moon reflected in the water. The real moon was up in the sky. It doesn't matter. He can gaze at his moon while I focus on making my money. After the speech, everyone could mingle freely. Julian dragged me into a small room. Evelyn, come home tonight. After 3 years of marriage, we still had some unspoken understanding between us. Seeing how eager he is, could it be that Luna isn't enough for him? Does Julian still want me? Julian gave a stern nod. All right, 5 million for one night. Julian was shaking with anger. Evelyn, have you no shame left? 5 million for one night? Who do you think you are? We're husband and wife, it's only natural. These words sent my blood pressure through the roof. Julian, you should also understand why a wife wouldn't just satisfy your needs unconditionally. What have you ever given me? A bride price? A car? A house? You've given me none of these. You only gave me a marriage certificate that could be torn up at any moment. What am I as Mrs. Julian, when you think about it? Julian's face turned green with anger, and he snapped, fine, fine, fine. Evelyn, if you didn't look so much like Luna, do you really think I'd give a damn about someone like you? I gave you a shot, but you blew it. You'll never lay a hand on me again in your life. Wow, I should be so grateful then. I clasped my hands together piously. Finally, I don't have to serve a man who needs to take Shinbao tablets anymore. Julian's defenses collapsed, and he stormed off with a dark look on his face. After chatting with a few of the ladies, I found a quiet spot by the pool. A shawl was suddenly draped over me. I turned my head and there was this handsome face right in front of me. Sis, don't catch a cold, alright? Something smells fishy here. Sure enough, after adding each other on WeChat, this guy named Henry started messaging me every now and then. He barely talked, just the usual good morning and good night, and occasionally sent pics of his outfits asking what I thought. But he really loved posting on his moments, like, he'd snap a pic of airplane trails in the sky and write, "Wonder what sis is up to right now." Or he would take a photo of a garden full of roses and write, "Not even the most beautiful roses in this whole garden can compare to one glance from you, sis." Or he would take a photo of the hazy moonlight and write, "Sister, if only we could enjoy this moonlight together, I'd be so happy I might just turn into a silly fool." Finally, on my birthday, he called and cautiously asked if he could take me out to dinner. This request came out of the blue and wasn't like his usual reserved self. I went along with it. We met for dinner at the garden club. The sun was warm, and he wore a white shirt. A gentle breeze ruffled the stray hairs on his forehead as he stood in the sunlight, smiling and waving at me. This reminded me of Julian out of the blue. "Sis, happy birthday." He handed me a bouquet with a smile. I was a bit surprised. "How did you know it's my birthday today?" He smiled mysteriously, "Because my sister holds a special place in my heart." I smiled, took the flowers from him without a word. His warm fingertips lightly brushed the back of my hand. Seeing that I didn't resist, he got bolder and poured us 2 glasses of red wine. "I wish my sister eternal youth, good health, and happiness." I picked up the red wine, swirled the glass, and smiled wryly. Never thought anyone would still remember my birthday. "Is something bothering you, sis?" he asked with concern. "You can talk to me about it. I hate seeing you upset." I hesitated for a moment and sighed, marriage in a wealthy family, it's complicated." He paused for a moment, then broke into a big grin. "It's okay, sis, Henry will be there for you." Henry knows being a CEO's wife might look glamorous, but actually it's really tough. That night at the banquet, I saw how exhausted sister's shoulders were, and I just wanted to protect her from all the storms. I know this is unfair, and I know I can't compete with Julian. I'm not asking for a title or even a long-term relationship, I just want to stay by your side, be your little pet, and make you happy. My eyes lit up. "You'll really protect me from the wind and rain?" He held up 3 fingers, "I swear it's the God's honest truth." "Then transfer me 1 million yuan first." "Sis, I'm pretty frugal, 1 million a month should cover it." Henry was all smiles one moment, then suddenly looked like he'd been struck by lightning. "Sis, why you gotta break my heart like this? I don't have $1 million, just this heart that loves you and would risk it all for you. But just because I don't have it now doesn't mean I won't in the future. I'll prove to you, sis, that I can take care of you." "Then will I deserve to call you Evelyn?" "Here's to our future, sis. Wish me luck." I set down my wine glass and buried my face in my hands, sobbing. "Henry, I'm so moved. I can't control myself, please turn around for a second." He stepped forward. "You can lean on my shoulder, sis." I shook my head. "No, just let me keep some dignity. I never thought I'd find true love in my life. Just let me cry for a bit, please." Henry couldn't say no, so he turned around. After a moment, I asked him to turn around, and with tears in my eyes, I picked up the wine glass. Henry, here's to our bright future. Henry's eyes lit up when he saw me drinking, just like mine did at the sight of a big pile of cash. After a glass of wine, I felt dizzy and leaned to one side. Henry quickly caught me and whispered in my ear, "Hey sis, you feeling dizzy? There's a bed inside, let me get you settled for a bit." Although he sounded like he was asking, he didn't hesitate at all in his actions. After throwing me onto the bed, he grabbed a camera from the cabinet and aimed it at me. I wasn't panicked at all. Lying on the bed, I casually said, "Henry, you're really going wild, aren't you? Aren't you scared, sis? What am I afraid of?" I propped up my head and said, "Now that I'm here, we can't miss out on something like that. You've got to take good care of me, think you can handle that?" Henry looked puzzled. "Aren't you worried Julian might find out?" "So what if he finds out? He's not good enough for me, and it's not like I can just find someone else. You know how it is with rich couples. Come on, Henry, quit pretending. You're just after my body and money, aren't you? Don't worry, I just need someone by my side. Play your cards right, and sis might just reward you. But look at you, all skin and bones, probably not worth much. 500 for the night, deal? Take off your clothes, let me see if you're worth 500 first." Henry's face darkened. Finally, when I asked if he was even worth 500, he lost his temper. "Sis, you're really pushing it. When I first started in this business, the price was at least 100,000 yuan. For this deal, Julian actually paid me 1 million. You think you can get it for 500? Dream on." "What?" I was stunned. "Julian actually gave you 1 million yuan? Is he out of his mind? Are you really worth that much? No way. This can't be true. Julian's not that dumb, you must be lying. You're not worth it, and you're just showing off." "Who's bragging? I'll show you the transfer record Julian sent me, huh?" Henry, all excited, shoved his phone right in my face. "Open your eyes and take a good look. I'm worth $1 million. Oh my god, Julian actually gave you 1 million yuan. What did he give you all that money for?" "Of course, he asked me to lead you on and have an affair while you're still married." Henry suddenly covered his mouth, looking panicked. "Wait, you're not drugged? How did you trick me into talking?" I grinned mischievously. "Well, obviously it's 'cause you're dumb." I caught him trying to sneak the powdered drug from his sleeve into my wine when he thought I wasn't looking. Did he really think throwing me a birthday party would win me over? Give me a break. I'm neither a love-struck fool nor some saintly woman, I just think he's got an agenda, okay? I broke the glass as a signal. The next moment, Olivia stormed in, clutching a beer bottle in her hand. Henry was tied to a chair by Olivia and me. Under Olivia's threat of bashing his head in, he spilled the whole story. Just as I thought, Julian sent him to trick me into a mistake, so after the deal was done, he could accuse me of cheating during the marriage and kick me out with nothing. Faced with solid evidence, even if I released the previous recordings and presented the IOU written by Julian, they could still claim that I faked them. I was furious when I heard that. I knew Julian was a scumbag, but I never thought he'd stoop so low. After all, I was his wife, we'd shared the same bed for 3 years. Yet to avoid giving me money, he even hired someone to hurt me. I was absolutely furious. I should have agreed to him that night and cut off his little brother while he was asleep. Olivia said she was about to call the police, but I stopped her. With Julian's connections, calling the police would be pointless, just like when Olivia tried in my past life. I grabbed the beer bottle and tapped Henry, who was shivering. "Henry, wanna make $2 million?" Henry's eyes immediately lit up. "Seriously? You want me to play both sides? This kid is pretty sharp." I nodded. "Help me see Julian and make him think I've fallen into his trap. Pretend we're dating and ask him for money. We'll split it half and half, and I'll throw in an extra 1 million yuan when it's all over." I shook my phone and said, "No tricks, I've got your confession recorded." We may not be able to catch Julian this way, but nabbing you is as easy as saying the word. What are you talking about? Henry suddenly said indignantly, how could I go against my father? Henry showed Julie some photos of me lying on the bed right in front of me. To sell the act, I holed up at Olivia's place for the next few days. Henry, on the other hand, never missed a day without holding a bouquet of flowers and gazing up at the upstairs window from below. Finally, on a stormy night, I grabbed an umbrella, went downstairs, and brought up Henry, drenched like a drowned rat. The next day we went on a trip to Europe together, and of course, Olivia secretly followed us wearing big sunglasses. Henry would update Julian on our whereabouts daily, sending pics and videos of us holding hands, while casually hitting him up for travel money. Julian was tight-fisted and only gave us 500,000 yuan, telling us to stick to less crowded and cheaper places. The thing is, he was worried we'd draw too much attention and blow my cover. During the final stages of the project, I, as Mrs. Julian, couldn't afford any scandals. 500,000 yuan was a bit tight, but it covered our basic expenses. In the blink of an eye, a month flew by, and the project collaboration plan was all set. I caught Julian's interview on the financial news about the project. In no time, the project got the green light. When Julian called and asked me to come back, the three of us were soaking up the sun, enjoying the beach, and admiring the muscular abs on the island. We hurried back home as soon as we heard that. In a wealthy family, it's not just about having a lot of money, there are also plenty of banquets to attend. Sure enough, to celebrate the successful project collaboration, Julian threw a celebration party. The guests at the banquet included his relatives, friends, and close project partners. As soon as they saw me, Julian's relatives and friends all looked disgusted, like I was some kind of biohazard. In my past life, Julian married me even though his family was against it, and I felt so guilty that I did everything I could to fit in with his family. I may not have had money, but I had a sincere heart. I wanted to win them over with love and kindness and make them accept me. Julian's mom had a kind of pneumonia, and even the nanny stayed away from her, afraid of catching it. Only I stayed by her bedside without leaving until she recovered. But after she recovered, she just said coldly, "Clumsy, you're not even as good as the maid who cleans the toilets at home." I was really down for a while back then, constantly wondering if I'd messed up somehow. But not long after, Julian's mom called and asked me to look after his sick aunt. I happily agreed, thinking they were finally recognizing and accepting me. Until I accidentally overheard Julian's aunt talking to his mother on the phone. It's like having a well-trained dog. If Julian likes someone, he'll keep them close. We can hold on to this punching bag for now, it's not like we're running low on dog food in this household. Dog, punching bag, nothing special, just enough to get by. It turned out they didn't even see me as a human being. No wonder they didn't oppose my marriage to Julian later, they only saw me as a pet. Fine, today you'll see what happens when a cute pet gets angry. Luna also showed up with gifts for everyone there. With me as a comparison, Luna, who was a better match in terms of social status, naturally pleased the elders more. Julian's mom gave Luna a few half-hearted pats and scolded, "You heartless thing, how could you just up and leave us for abroad all by yourself? If you hadn't run off back then, your kid with Julian would be 3 by now." Luna looked at me with feigned panic. "Auntie, please don't say that, you'll upset Evelyn. The issue between Julian and me isn't anyone else's fault, I just had bad luck. As long as big brother Julian is doing well, that's all I need." Julian's mother shot me a glare as I was busy eating and drinking, which only made her angrier. 3 years and still no baby? Useless, she snapped. All she does is eat, eat, eat. Was she a starving ghost in her past life or something? I quickly shoved the last bite of cake into my mouth, grinned at her, and sprayed out a bunch of crumbs. Julian's mom was instantly repulsed, as if she'd seen something disgusting, and quickly covered her mouth and turned away. Hee, I totally creeped her out. The banquet kicked off, and after Julian's speech, he announced he'd show a video about the project's future for everyone to get excited about together. I started clapping from below. Luna shot me a sarcastic look and whispered, "Evelyn, you're screwed." As expected, the project video got replaced. The screen displayed photos of me in disheveled clothes, shots of me escorting a man upstairs on a rainy day, and clips of me fooling around with that same man on the beach in a bikini. The entire audience was stunned. Julian was the first to snap out of it. He turned off the video and snapped, "Who did this? Who photoshopped these pictures to smear my wife's name? This scoundrel actually used the trick of knocking me down first, then lifting me up." Soon, a professional team showed up. After checking, those photos and videos were all original and unedited, so no one was slandering me. I really did have an affair. Those people who had been standing by me suddenly backed away, keeping a good 3 meters between us, and stared at me with disdain. Julian clutched his chest and asked me in pain, "Evelyn, I loved you so much. Why did you betray me? Is there anything I did wrong? Let me know, and I can fix it." What a CEO deeply in love. In this way, whether he gets a divorce or remarries, people will only feel sorry for him and wish him well, and all of it will actually boost his career. I looked at him, unable to believe that someone who seemed so vulnerable and helpless right now could actually have such dark thoughts. Suddenly, it hit me, that rainy night 3 years ago. He stood downstairs at my house, begging me to be his girlfriend, his eyes so vulnerable and helpless that my heart melted, my guard dropped, and I found myself believing him, believing in the story of a CEO and a novelist. Unfortunately, my kindness and soft heart were wasted on someone who didn't deserve it. Recalling how I died tragically in my previous life and how desperate Olivia was when she was bullied with nowhere to go, my heart completely turned cold. "Julian, snap out of it. She's not worth your sacrifice. Julian, divorce her and get her out of the Julian family. You're from a poor mountain village, how dare you betray Julian after being lucky enough to marry him because of your ancestors' good deeds? I'll kill you." Julian's cousin suddenly jumped out and took a swing at me. Julian instantly wrapped his arms around me, taking the full force of the kick on his back. This caused quite a stir. Everyone thought Julian was being taken advantage of and called me an ungrateful wretch who was scheming against him. Julian's mom was so mad she even called him an idiot. Luna's eyes were red from crying. "Evelyn, Julian's been so good to us, how could you hurt him like that? Did you cheat on me on purpose to get back at Julian because I came back? I grew up with Julian, like a big brother to me. When I came back this time, he did help me out with a small favor, but that was just a friendly gesture between us. There's always been nothing but innocence between Julian and me. If you hate me, Evelyn, I'll leave. Just promise me you'll be good to Julian. I've hurt him once, and I can't bear to see him hurt again, okay?" Many people there knew Julian and Luna had dated before, and hearing her words made them resent me even more. Julian's cousin shouted, "Luna, if anyone's gotta go, it's her. You and Julian were meant to be together. If it weren't for that shameless woman blackmailing him, he would never have married her. Julian, leave her. Our family will never accept someone with a tarnished reputation." The cousin's words were met with a chorus of agreement, and everyone started shouting for Julian to divorce me. Julian shielded me behind him and said with pain in his voice, "Please, don't hurt Evelyn. This is all my fault. Evelyn, I'm sorry for putting you through this. I never should have pressured you into marrying me. If you're longing for freedom, I'll set you free. Let's call it quits." Whoosh, he finally blurted it out. To be honest, watching them act is exhausting. I nodded calmly. "Are you still going to split the property with me? Evelyn, you cheated during our marriage and now you expect to split the property? You must be out of your mind." The cousin was furious. "Auntie, we can't let that woman take even a penny from the Julian family. Evelyn, we're letting you live, that's more than enough. How dare you still ask for money?" The cousin also started scolding. "I'm so sick of these two. Ever since I joined the Julian family, they've been picking on me like I'm stealing their food. Are you two bothering me? It's none of your business how I divide Julian's property. What, you want to be Julian's kids and split his property? Mind your own business, you're always sticking your nose where it doesn't belong." Who do you think you are? Unexpectedly, I talked back, and my cousin and his sister were so angry they wanted to hit me. But Julian was shielding me up front, so they couldn't get to me. Evelyn, here's the money, Julian said with a sigh. 5 million should last you a lifetime. I shook my finger. No, 200 million, not a penny less. 200 million, everyone in the room gasped. There was another round of cursing in the hall, but whatever, same old insults, greedy, gold digger, ungrateful, blah blah blah. Talking about morality with me in this wealthy circle is just ridiculous. The most immoral people in this world are those capitalists who own assets and believe they can manipulate the world and control ordinary people's lives. Julian, I'm asking you one last time, can you spare 200 million? I said, dead serious. Julian turned away from the others, from an angle where they couldn't see. He glared at me and hissed, Evelyn, if you cheated during our marriage and this ends up in court, you won't even get 5 million. Our eyes met, and confidence shone in his eyes. Fine. I clapped my hands. Julian, your social suicide package has arrived, please sign for it. I broke the glass. The screen flickered back to life. Henry was on the screen, tied to a stool, confessing all the details about how Julian bribed him and drugged me. Henry was sobbing, I was just an honest, law-abiding escort. Julian paid me $1 million to trick your sister, to fake evidence of her cheating during the marriage so she'd get kicked out with nothing, not even a penny. Woo-woo, sis, please go easy on me. I heard Julian needs to take Shanbao tablets to perform, but I'm still young. Just say the word, and I'll satisfy you right away. After the video, there was footage from the day I caught Julian and Luna. In the recording, it clearly says that Julian and Luna got intimate first, then promised me 200 million to help him keep up his good guy image and divorce after winning the project. The Shanbao tablets showed up again. Finally, there was the recording of me asking him to write the IOU, and the Shanbao tablets became a huge hit. Such a dramatic turn of events left everyone stunned as they eagerly soaked up the juicy gossip. Julian suddenly snapped out of it and urgently asked someone to shut off the screen. Hey, but his guys were held down by the bodyguards Olivia had arranged in advance. Evelyn, how could you betray me like this? Julian was furious. I shrugged and said innocently, Julian, all I want is my 200 million back. I'm really sorry you had to go through that embarrassing moment. Just then, the door to the banquet hall burst open. Julian's assistant rushed in, looking flustered. Julian, this is terrible. Our company's stock price has crashed. 5 of our partners have already announced they're cutting ties with us. Julian's been really down lately. What happened at the banquet would have only spread among the wealthy families at first. To my surprise, Luna, that ruthless woman, secretly arranged a live stream of the banquet just to push me to my death and smooth her rise to the top. When news broke that I had an affair and demanded 200 million yuan, netizens attacked me relentlessly and even dug up ancestors I never knew existed. Unexpectedly, the tables turned, and feeling duped, netizens quickly turned on Julian, attacking him fiercely. The incident quickly escalated. Several companies that had partnered with Julian Group immediately announced they were suspending cooperation. Julian Group's stock price plummeted, and furious shareholders gathered outside the building, waving banners and demanding answers. On the internet, hashtags like hashtag Julian Shanbao tablets, hashtag is Julian up to it today, and hashtag Julian the most scheming man in the wealthy family of the year trended for a week. A film and television company seized the opportunity to release a short drama titled Julian's Villainous Wife, raking in over 100 million yuan within just 3 days of its premiere. As the biggest sponsor of this short drama, Shanbao Tablets Company saw its stock price skyrocket. As for me, well, I'm just your average film investor who only made tens of millions in profit sharing. Half a month later, with solid evidence, the court ruled that Julian had to pay me back the 200 million yuan debt as stated in the IOU, plus compensation for emotional distress. When Julian came to find me, he didn't look too good. Hey, the business world is ruthless. How many competitors are just waiting for the Julian family to stumble so they can take a bite? Well, without us lifting a finger, those hidden pieces of evidence were coming to light one by one. Tax evasion, moving assets, shady businesses. Looks like the Julian family won't get through this easily. Evelyn, I messed up. Julian grabbed my hand, his eyes vulnerable and broken. After you left, I realized it's not Luna I want, it's you. Please, give me another chance. Come back to me. I sneered, is it me you like, or the 200 million in my pocket? Julian's face went blank. Julian, have you ever thought that if I hadn't been alert and caught on to your plan, I'd be the one in deep trouble now? Would you help me? No, you'd just clink glasses with Luna and toast to your perfect plan and love. Why should I help you? Who the hell do you think you are? Julian dropped the act, his eyes turning cold and furious. Evelyn, you really think your money can take me down? I'll come back and make sure you die without a grave. I wiped my hand with a towel where he'd touched me and smiled, saying, we'll see. A month later, the Julian family's group went under, and word was they wouldn't be able to bounce back. Once I thought a group like the Julian group was unshakable, and an ordinary person like me could only look up to it. But in the eyes of the law, they're nothing. They had it coming. Olivia and I went to check out some luxury penthouses when we heard a man and a woman arguing in the distance. From their tone, they sounded like old acquaintances. As we moved closer for a better look, hey, it was actually them. I spotted Luna dragging her suitcase, trying to leave, but Julian wouldn't let her. Julian begged, Luna, you promised you'd stay with me no matter what. Luna snapped impatiently, wake up already. If I hadn't heard you took over, I'd still be doing just fine abroad, why would I come back? Julian clenched his jaw and snapped, what's that supposed to mean? Now that I'm broke, you're ditching me? You're the reason I'm in this mess. Luna shot back, otherwise, without the Julian group, what do I even see in you? To be honest, pretending to enjoy it when I was clearly unhappy was really uncomfortable. I don't know how Evelyn managed to get through those 3 years. You bitch, Luna. Julian slapped her hard across the face. The two of them started pulling and fighting. Seeing things were getting out of hand, I quickly opened the video app and started a live stream. Olivia was really thoughtful. She called the property security and only stepped in to separate them after the crowd had seen enough of the scene. Luna, her hair a mess, just wanted to run away. She even forgot our hostile relationship and rushed to me as if I were her savior, crying, 200 million is what you deserve. It's so frustrating, unbelievably frustrating. I never want to see those Shinbao tablets again in my life. Well, given her fragile mental state, I let it slide. Julian had bruises on his face, but when he saw me, he put on a defiant look and said, Evelyn, what are you doing here? I won't make up with you unless you beg me. Olivia rolled her eyes and shoved him away, saying, we're here to look at houses, so back off. The property staff gave an awkward smile and said, Mr. Julian, these two ladies are interested in purchasing the penthouse. In the end, Julian sold the penthouse he shared with Luna, seething with hatred, otherwise, he'd have to pay me damages. Come to think of it, the money he used to buy this penthouse was part of our marital assets. Oh well, forget it, consider it charity for the poor. Anyway, I'm not hurting for cash now. When I signed the contract, Julian clenched his teeth and said, I'll be back for sure. I kept nodding and said, you'll die an even worse death next time. I didn't care what happened to Julian after that. I heard he became a live-in son-in-law thanks to his good looks. After tasting the success of short dramas, I jumped right into producing them. Olivia and I ended up becoming small-time bosses, raking in the cash. After being held for 15 days, Henry approached me wanting to star as the lead in a short film, but I turned him down. Henry, the entertainment industry isn't a dump where you can just toss in any old trash. If you become an idol, what kind of example are you setting for the people who watch your dramas? If you're making 208 million a day, how is that fair to the hardworking people on the front lines? Henry burst into tears, swearing he'd never work as an escort again or cheat people out of their money. I was happy and gave him the 1 million I'd promised. I always keep my word. As soon as he got the money, he stopped crying, though he left slowly, glancing back every few steps. Finally, just as he was about to step over the threshold, he turned and asked me, "Sis, you always need a man to keep you warm, don't you?" Olivia was on the phone outside the window, talking about a project with a smile brighter and warmer than March sunshine. I smiled softly and replied, "Is a man really necessary? It's just a luxury, a toy."